Tonight, a 6-month-long Contact 5 investigation exposes some major questions about daycare funding and who's getting the money. What Contact 5's Katie Legrone discovered has already prompted some dramatic results. Katie?
Jim, for thousands of parents in Florida, the only way they can afford to send their children to daycare is to get help from the government. It's a $66 million program that to some could mean easy money. Aisha and Kimberly, how are you guys?
Yeah, hold on, no.
Well, I'm Katie with Channel 5.
We don't want the news on.
Before we show you what happened next,
Yes, a little girl in yellow.
you'll want to see what the Contact 5 investigators discovered months earlier. Since December, we've been watching, tracking who's coming
There be more kids.
and who's going
338, 2 kids.
from daycare centers in Palm Beach County.
Meanwhile, the pink house.
What we found is a problem. We just want to talk to you about the government subsidies that you guys are getting for daycare that often goes unnoticed.
Our challenge is we can't be there 24 hours a day.
For 28-year-old Angelica Castro, daycare was a necessity, but not an option.
No, it's too much expensive.
A single mom, Angelica couldn't afford to send her 3.5-year-old daughter to a daycare center until she got help from Florida's child care subsidy program, letting low-income parents work without the costly worry of child care. After a year and a half of waiting, Angelica now pays just $30 a week to see her daughter thrive.
She is happy because she going for the school. And then, Mommy, I going for the school. And then I happy too because she is happy.
Daycare subsidies help about 20,000 families in Palm Beach County alone.
The need is dramatic.
But according to Warren Eldridge, executive director of the Early Learning Coalition of Palm Beach County, thousands more are still waiting for the chance.
While we know of 4,500 children, when you really look at the population, we know that the need is even more dramatic than what is on our waiting list.
Which is why Eldridge is concerned money designed to help is being pocketed by others trying to cash in on kids. At this home daycare in Riviera Beach, there's supposed to be kids coming and going 24/7, according to county records. Last year, its owner, Aisha Hubbard, seen here, received nearly $60,000 in public money to care for needy kids. But when the Contact 5 investigators were watching, few to no children ever showed up. In fact, after watching this home daycare for 3 months, the Contact 5 investigators rarely, if ever, saw kids coming and going from here. Instead, they were coming and going from here, right next door, where it turns out Aisha Hubbard's mom, Kimberly, has also been operating a daycare and also collecting tens of thousands of dollars in government money.
Yes, on the surface, that raises the red flag.
Why? Together, Kimberly and Aisha Hubbard received nearly $135,000 in child care reimbursement claims last year alone, more than any other home daycare provider in the county. Yet, if you take a look at their attendance logs, what we saw and they claimed don't add up. Nor did it add up to auditors. In fact, the Contact 5 investigators have discovered nearly a dozen home daycare providers are currently under investigation for possible fraud. Among them, Kimberly and Aisha Hubbard.
I can't comment on anything specific.
Hold on, no.
Well, I'm Katie with Channel 5.
No, we don't want the news on us.
Well, no, we just want to talk to you about the government subsidies that you guys are getting for daycare.
Okay, but we don't want to be on the news.
It just doesn't seem like, the sign-in and sign-out sheets are sort of matching up with what we've seen.
What do you mean?
So, Kimberly and Aisha didn't get very far avoiding our cameras. Ma'am, this is public money. And we didn't get any answers. Cracking suspected cases of daycare fraud isn't easy. Last year, the Early Learning Coalition of Palm Beach County suspected a dozen daycare providers of committing fraud. Yet to date, no provider has been charged.
Our challenge is we can't be there 24 hours a day.
And with just 3 investigators countywide working all public assistance fraud cases, getting the state to wrap it up is another.
There are cases that are falling through the cracks here that aren't being investigated simply because of manpower.
We can do the best we can with what we have, given the economic environment that we're in.
No one knows for sure the extent of daycare fraud or how much it's costing the rest of us. But there's little doubt who ends up paying the biggest price.
That we're taking this more and more seriously every day, and anybody who may look at it as easy money, I believe will find out that it isn't easy money.
And days after we asked the Hubbards questions about those government reimbursements they've been receiving, we've learned they just voluntarily canceled their contracts to collect any more public money. An attorney for the Hubbards says Aisha and Kimberly maintain they've been fully compliant. As for why they canceled those contracts, the attorney tells us they didn't want any problems interrupting their daycare operations.
So what more can be done, though, to make sure this doesn't happen, you know, in other home daycares?
Certainly. Well, more staff is needed. The state is not planning on hiring any more people. However, locally, they are really taking this issue very, very seriously. In fact, the Early Learning Coalition just hired a full-time person whose sole job is to work these suspected daycare fraud cases.
A good first step.
Certainly.
And a good investigation. Thank you, Kate.